Guys, it's time for Breakthrough with Coach Lou. Coming to you live from Accelerate Life University, XLR8Life.com. Coach Lou will help you break through anything that's stopping you. Are you ready to get the motivation, the energy, the life, and all the success you really want and deserve? With no further ado, here's Coach Lou.
Good morning and welcome back to Breakthrough with Lou, guys. It's Monday morning. Happy. It's a little chilly here in Central Florida. Do you remember when we were kids, we used to play a little game called hide and seek? Or maybe you're a kid now and you play hide and seek. Ready or not, here I come. Did you ever realize what kind of impact that might have as an adult? What does that mean? Ready or not, here I come. Ready or not, here we go. Think about that. What a concept. Let me tell you a little story. About three weeks ago, I really did something stupid. I don't know what I did. I could have assumed what I did and how I did it, but I really torqued out my lower back. And I think I did it taking something off my truck. I'm not 100% sure, but that's not what matters. What matters is I was like, oh my God, a whole new appreciation for anybody who's got lower back pain. I mean, I got some upper stuff going on and, deal with it, but that lower stuff, my God, no wonder people, then when they say I can't even get out of bed and something, I'm like, oh my God, sometimes you look and go, well, is this person just kind of faking their way out of this? Or no, the lower back stuff, it was pretty painful. Had to keep going though. And then we have the craziest, busiest week of the year, and I'm pushing through it and get caught in a storm and stress and all this and no sleep and whammo. Yeah, I don't know. You guys know when was the last time I had a cold? 2-3 years ago? I don't get colds very often. I don't get sick because of my lifestyle. And I got this roller of a sore throat. I wake up in the middle of the night and it's rolling. But the whole thing is you're going, well, what's your point here, Lou? Where are we going with this? What is your whole point to this? My whole point to this is this past weekend, okay? On top of all of what happened there, I had two, not one, but two Spartan races back-to-back Saturday and Sunday. And you go, well, what does that really affect? Think about that. Back it up the week before. You're sick. Your immune system's down. You're tired. Obviously not getting in many workouts. And training properly for this. One was the sprint. One was the super. 2 in a weekend. I mean, some people are like, oh my God, how could you ever do a Spartan race, period? And then, 2 in a weekend. Just keep that in mind. Then back that up for the couple weeks before that. I'm out of training because it really hurt to do a lot of stuff. I mean, I got through it, but the back injury, me, I don't lay down. But I was like, instead of having that last 3 weeks before the race of some pretty intense training, I had next to what I would call zero training. And I wasn't feeling well. And I still wasn't feeling well a couple days before the race. And I'm like, oh. So I did it. It came out of my mouth. I said, Jen, maybe I'll do one race and postpone the other. She looked at me. She goes, really? That's how you're going to handle this? Okay. I kind of see the look of disgust in your face and the disappointment in me there. Okay. And I thought about it. She goes, the minute you run that first one, you're going to run the second one. She goes, you're not gonna back out of it. The minute you hit that course, as always, you're gonna be in state. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not in shape for this. I've been sick. I was hurt. And I'm like, excuses, right? Okay, so I could have bailed on this, right? I had a legitimate excuse, okay? I showed up, I ran both races, I finished and proved that all the excuses were just stories we tell ourselves. But not only that, I had my average time for the sprint, the 5K, the 10K with more obstacles. And I'll tell you, they had some obstacles this time. I did better. My time was better. It was twice the distance, twice the obstacles, but it wasn't twice the time to finish it. Did it hurt? Was it tough? Yeah. But see, waiting for the perfect conditions, waiting for the perfect time, waiting until, you'll wait your whole life out, guys. You will literally wait your whole life out if you don't. So let's ask a question. Let's dig into this morning. Let's get some chats lighting up here. Why do we wait? Why do we wait for stuff and hold off? Number one is fear of failure, or fear itself, or looking foolish. What if I try it and I don't look good? Okay, I wouldn't be an auctioneer today if I didn't try it the day my father, years ago when I was a kid, God rest his soul, hands me a microphone and says, I need a break. And I'm like, I'll go get my sister. I'm 12 years old, guys. And I'm standing there with this mic in my hand. And he's like, nope, I got to go. And I'm looking at this sea of people. And two things went through my head. Number one is, this is scary. Actually, three things. Number two was, what if I do this and I don't do well? What if I'm embarrassed? Ooh, pain. Then there was a third option, and that was put the mic down and run away. The pain of looking like I was too scared to do it was more overwhelming than any of the other pain that could have possibly happened. People start responding to me. This starts to actually be fun. My gut's still in a knot. I'm never going to tell you that for years after that, I still didn't get nervous picking up a microphone. But the point of it is the fear of looking like I was afraid was greater than any of the other fears, which pushed me over the edge, which put me to who I am today. That's why, people say, oh, I don't know if I can be good on video or good on a microphone, or I could never do that. And it's like, well, yeah, you could. You really could. You just got to align this and this and go forward. You got to start. You got to go. Okay? That perfectionism paralysis is what gets people a lot of times. They're like, oh, I got to be perfect before I can do it. Or being addicted to your comfort zone. Well, I'm good on social media because I can just, type something in and put up a picture of somebody else and it's all good. I get some likes. So that's a comfort zone. Turning your social media on and going live and talking to people about what your passion is a different story, but it's so much rewarding. And people go, well, let me write a script. Let me tell you a little story about that. Okay. Years ago, I went to an event, and many years ago, and I was invited by being in the fitness and health industry, I was invited by another facility that I worked with quite a bit. And they were a health facility, natural health facility. And I'm going to speak at this church. So I spend the whole night the night before writing up this 7-8 page speech that I'm going to give about stuff. And, and I get in there. And I was one of the first that they put up. And I'm like, oh, great. At least I'll die early. So I get up there and I start going through it. And I noticed the crowd is kind of, and somebody asked a question. And I totally, I'm like, all right, well, wasn't prepared for that. But sure, I answered the question from here, from my heart and from my knowledge. And next thing you know, I see people getting into it. And, somebody else is wanting to put their hand up. And I took and I said, guys, I spent a lot of hours writing this last night. And I threw it down. I said, this is obviously not the reason I'm here. I said, obviously God has me here to answer some questions for you. And it opened up the floodgates. And it was like, boom. And it was the perfect moment, the perfect speech. Not what I had written. That was shit. Okay, not really. I put a lot of effort into it, and I wanted to deliver something, but it wasn't. You don't always deliver what you put down on the piece of paper, or what you think somebody needs. Sometimes you got to deliver from the heart. As a matter of fact, all the time you got to deliver from the heart, backed up by the brain. Okay, well, all of a sudden, finally, our spots are supposed to be 15, 20 minutes. An hour later, the moderator of the event goes, guys, we have got to. Lou's going to be back at his table at the back of the room. You are more than welcome to interact more, but, and I've got the rest of the presenters like glaring at me. And, as I'm going by, my friends that invited me, they're like, how in the F are we supposed to follow that? I said, just go from your heart. No, I didn't, I was so young, I didn't know what I'm talking about, really. Go from your heart, just do it, But it was such an eye-opener, too, that I wasn't ready. If I had to have all these pages typed up and everything else and try to read a speech about what I'm passionate about helping people with, I was going to fail. And it just opened up. And, when you do this and you really honestly just go from the heart and you don't wait until it's perfect. I'm not saying half-ass it. I'm not saying go and speak on a topic that, you need some knowledge on and you just kind of, breeze through it and you really haven't done anything. But if you're 60, 70% proficient in what you're going to talk about, you can get up and go. You can get moving. And you're going to learn and grow more as you go. Okay? So to be honest with you, the words, I'm not ready, really means I am not willing to be uncomfortable. Makes sense, right? Okay? So let's talk about something. What's the cost of waiting and delaying yourself? Okay, dreams delayed. They're not delayed, guys. They're denied. Throw them out. If you're going to sit there and go, someday when the kids move out of the house, I'm going to start a business. You're not going to start that business. You're going to have another reason. Now I'm too old, or the economy's changed. You're going to give yourself the biggest load of BS ever. You're going to BS all over yourself. That's belief system, by the way. So your momentum's going to die when you wait. Okay. It's like doing an obstacle, and I'm going to use this Spartan races as examples quite a bit here. It's like you get up to an obstacle, and if you start hesitating, you're not going to complete it. If you go get right into it, you may or may not complete it. Okay, not every obstacle gets completed. Okay, but the truth is, your confidence will erode. Your momentum dies if you wait. And honestly, life passes you by. This thing called life, guys, and sorry, I'm still a little stuffy. This thing called life goes by too damn quick. I'm at that point where I look and go, slow the F down. That's not, it's time, slow down. Remember being a kid, can't wait for this, can't wait for that. Someday when, when I get out of school, when summer comes. Kids, young'uns, if you're young, slow down, enjoy every minute of it, because it's a ticking time clock. We're all going to be dead at some point. And I hate to admit that. And I really hate to admit the mortality. The closer you get, the older you get. Okay, and I'm far from old, but the reality is it's now you hit that point where you go, where'd the last 10 years go? I don't feel indifferent. I don't think, it's not like, oh, I'm 10 years older. Rah, 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 rah. No, truth be told, for past few months has been a little trying physically and stress-wise and that. And to be honest with you, it's been a little bit crazy. So, I was starting to feel like I was aging a little too quickly. A couple dietary changes, some physical activity changes, mindset change. All of a sudden, rewind 10 years, feel amazing again instead of getting through it. But that's a talk for a different day. Okay, so we have a power today to talk about. The power of imperfect action. Okay? You learn more by doing than planning. Now, some people will say disagree with that. Some people will say it's this and that. You got to do some planning, yes. You got to kind of have a clue what you're doing. But until you start doing, that's when you really begin to learn. Okay? Take back being an auctioneer. I could have listened to my dad. I could have listened to somebody else auction. I could have gotten Leroy Van Dyke's auctioneer school. They say bitty bottom bad or something, whatever shit they tried to tell people to learn how to be an auctioneer, baby bottles or something. Get out of here. Stick a microphone in your hand and go. You know that the numbers go up. You know when somebody puts their hand up, they're in, you go to the next number. Now, is that easy? Not initially. But you kind of have a clue what the process is. Now you can refine your chant. 75, 85, go 95, something like that. Get a flow. But nobody starts there. Nobody starts ballet or dance with the perfect poses and everything else. They fall down, they trip, they're clumsy, and then they keep doing it and they get better. This is what I'm talking about. If you wait, you're never going to get better. You're never going to do. Okay? So we learn more by doing than planning. Yes, you need to plan. Yes, you need to learn some skills. But most people wait way too long. I have got to complete this entire course on AI before I can even begin to implement AI in my business. You're dead. You're gone. By the time you complete that course, AI has changed. Okay? So the other thing is momentum builds confidence. The more you do, the more you get going, the better you do. It's like getting out for a Spartan race. When you're sitting there and getting the pre-race jitters and, oh my God, what did I get into? Especially when somebody's first race. Then what? Oh my God. But then you start running and other people are running. And a couple people fall back and are already walking. And some other people are kicking your butt out there. And you realize, well, it's this about competing with my best, unless you're running competitive to win a race. But my point is you once you get going, you start feeling good. So ready enough is good enough to start. If you can start, you can finish whatever you go at. Okay? And you course correct as you go. Okay? You start a business and you're like, oh, I want to sell tortas for $10. And you find out nobody wants to pay that because a little shop down the road sells them for $5. And you go, well, okay, I could sell them for $2, but they cost you $2.10 to make. You're out of business. Maybe you sell them for $5, but make them better than the place down the road. You course correct as you go. Or you find that people like something else instead. This is what my customer really likes. Let's shift gears into more of that. A lot of times people business-wise, and I'm always going to go to business thoughts here. They think, oh, this is what I'm going to deliver. This is it. Maybe that's not exactly what your customers need. Maybe that's not what they like. Maybe they like a piece of that and a little bit of an upgrade over here. Whatever it is, you deliver. But you course correct. You learn as you go. But the one thing you can't do is you can't go. You can't do any of this until you go. And you can't go waiting till you think it's perfect or waiting for the exact time or it's not the time or, oh, I hurt my back a few weeks ago. I couldn't train. I'm sick. Okay, yeah, I'm all about recovering and taking care of your body and that. But you know what? I would feel like DS. Not belief system, not BS, DS, like dog in the, which you thought the S of BS was. If I had skipped out, if I had copped out this weekend, I would feel, number one, I feel like $1 million this morning. Everybody's like, oh, are you really sore? And I'm like, no, thank God for the cold plunge and the hyperbaric oxygen afterwards. Kudos to, I wish I had their company name. I'd give them a shout out. Give me a nice hyperbaric oxygen session after the second race. We actually got to hang out with a cool trainer that's all into peptides and stuff, and we had a super conversation while in there. Oh my God, Alejandro, and shout out to you for a great conversation. Neither one of these guys do I know their company names. Sorry, guys. I'll give some shout outs next week on that. So what do? You want 3 tools to make this, implement this, and get it going? You want them? You tell me. You want them? Yeah, of course you do. Let's go. First one, 5-second rule. Coined by Mel Robbins. Okay, she didn't really create it, but she certainly put it out into the public eye. Okay, whenever you're going to do something that scares you, you're not sure if you're ready, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move. Do it. And you're in a meeting. Does anybody have an idea about this? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I do. See, because the thing is how many times you've been in that meeting and you get this great idea and you're like, oh, when's the right time to jump in here? And Sally Sue goes, I got this idea that we should put this thing on the desk and it monitors this. And what you think? And the boss goes, you're getting a promotion. You're like, hey, screw you. That was my idea. I was about to tell you. I've been working on that for 6 months. You missed it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't get caught in that, guys, because you will. You will get caught in that. You will get caught in that hesitation. And guess what? Somebody else is going to come out with it. And there you go. And you go, that was my idea. That could be me having this $1 million funnel, this $1 million business. And it's not me because I waited. Okay? Interrupt that. You got to interrupt that excuse making style of the brain. The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 rule does it. Personally, I like going in the cold plunge in that. Sometimes I use 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But honestly, my mantra, and it takes 5 seconds, is I'm force for God, I'm force for good, I'm a gladiator, and I do not negotiate. Go. And that 5 seconds, by the time I say go, I'm in the cold plunge. I'm in the water. I'm not sticking my toe in going, oh, or I'm not easing in. You jump in. Okay? Is it always comfortable? No. And sometimes comfortable is your enemy anyway. So think action before you overthink. Within 5 seconds, you can't overthink it. You can't talk yourself out of it. Every second that goes on beyond that, your chances go down by like 35% that you're going to take action every second. So basically 3 more seconds and you're out of the game. Okay? Good enough standard. This is, I always talk about being outstanding. Okay? Well, you should be outstanding, but until you're ready, until you get going, you can't wait till you're outstanding at something you don't do and go, I'm going to be outstanding learning. I'm going to watch 300 hours of YouTube videos on how to do this. Then I'll be ready because I'm outstanding. BS, BBS, bad belief system, y'all. Okay, you're not going to get good at it till you start doing it. Are you 60, 70% ready? Do you have most of the information you need? Do you have most of the courage to get on camera or step on a stage or jump in an ice bath or start a Spartan race or open a business? Whatever it is, it's all the same patterns. So if you're 60, 70% there, boom, go. Okay? Perfection is the enemy of anything. Okay? Execution is the point. You got to execute. Okay. Hit that Spartan type mindset. Commit. Do it publicly. Yeah, you register for your race, you announce it on Facebook, you say I'm opening a business on January 1, this is what it is. You don't sit there and go, well, let me keep this to myself. Commit. On January 1, line up for your espresso at Espresso King in Castleberry. And you're going, okay, well, I have the location secured, but I don't have any. I bet you didn't get going because you're going to do it. And guess what? You might not make the perfect espresso in January. You might not have the perfect staff, and people might have to wait in line, and the credit card machine might back up. But if you don't do it, if you go, I'm going to wait till the staff is completely trained on how everything will operate, and it'll be BS until they serve a customer. That's when the real learning starts. I mean, I'm not saying go in without a business plan. I'm not saying go in without SOPs in order. What I am saying is if you don't start, you can't grow. Nothing's going to happen. Okay? Remove the exit ramp. What does that mean? Remove the option of going, excuse, I can't. Or I got to do this. Or, well, I need another week now. That is the killer, and I do it sometimes. We have more shows than Breakthrough with Lou. Breakthrough with Lou has stood the test of time every single Monday, unless I've been in a hospital bed or a place where there's no internet or something like that. I am broadcasting. The other shows have had some ups and downs, and that's all the difference of go. Breakthrough with Lou started driving in at 5:30 in the morning, from the van coming in to teach boot camp. Okay, going live for a few minutes on Facebook. All right, so that stood the test of time. The other ones need to get the importance of that. But my whole point to it is there's going to be a point where it's just go. It's not, well, in the month of such and such, I'm going to start once I have them all outlined. BS. No. We're rethinking some of our other shows and format and call in, and it's going to be really fun. But I'm going to spend a little bit of time planning it, and then we're going. Okay? So here's my challenge for you. What is one thing that you've been waiting to be ready for? What is that one thing? And what I want you to do today is take one imperfect action. What? Why not a perfect action? Because you don't know what's perfect yet. This week, text me, message me, let me know how this made a difference. If you jump in and go, ready or not, here I go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I am a force for God, go. Whatever it is. Whatever your mantra, it doesn't have to be counting down 5 to 1. Just make sure it's 5 seconds. But let's do this. Let me know by next week's show, because I'd like to go over it. If you have questions in that and comment on this stuff, what can I do to serve you? And how good does it feel to actually take that first step? Don't wait. Don't wait. What do you got to lose? Well, what if it doesn't work? Then it doesn't work. Find a new way. All right. So I'm going to circle back into the discussion about the race. I wasn't ready. I was far from 100%. I showed up. I finished it. And, to be honest, that's a success story of every person I know. They started before they were ready. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Permission? No one's going to give you permission. Someone to come save you? The government to come save you or something? They're not coming. No one's coming. No one's coming to save you guys. It's up to you. So catch up with me. Join Coach Lou Inner Circle. Click. Get over to CoachLou.com. That's coach-lew.com. And join the Action Takers. And see all my live shows at lou.live. I would love to have you in Inner Circle, guys. That is like the show on steroids, because we do live meetings each month and all kinds of cool stuff. I would love to invite you in to come check it out, because it's where we make stuff happen. Guys, live with faith, energy, passion, always, and I mean always, live your dream. See you soon. Ciao for now.
Ready to take it to the next level? Tune in to XLR8Life.com for our live shows, encore presentations, life-changing courses, and live coaching with Coach Lou himself. As Coach Lou always says, live with faith, energy, love, passion, and always live your dream.